Over the years, tobacco sponsorships have been a prominent feature of F1. Take, for example, Marlboro, Rothmans, Benson and Hedges, Lucky Strike, and the list goes on. The first ever sponsored F1 car was, in fact, sponsored by a tobacco company by the name of Gunston. Tobacco companies have even owned F1 teams. For example, BAR, or British American Racing, which was owned by the company British American Tobacco. They bought the team with the sole intention of promoting their cigarette brands, Lucky Strike and 555, and while they did promote these brands, they also managed to acquire a fair amount of success. And that success amounted to a highest championship finish of second place in the 2006 World Constructors' Championship, which is not a result to have your nose turned up at. So, good promotion, I guess. Fast forward to 2006 and tobacco sponsorship was banned from F1 cars. And I mean, rightly so. Promoting a substance full of carcinogens that could potentially kill you isn't really that ethical. However, some tobacco companies weren't prepared to just disappear for good. Take, for example, Marlboro. And this is where my story for today starts. Marlboro and Ferrari, or PMI and Ferrari. PMI is the parent company of Marlboro, and that is what is behind all of this shenanigans, we will call it. So, from 2007 to 2010, the Marlboro logo on the Ferrari was removed, and instead, Philip Morris opted to display their now infamous barcode. And what this barcode was, for those of you who don't know, because they weren't allowed to directly write Marlboro on the side of the car, instead, this barcode was supposed to resemble the Marlboro logo as the car was driving past at high speed, and to an extent it did, and especially if you squinted. And this was part of the strategy, but the most impressive part of it, and the genius in their sales strategy, is that you are looking for that Marlboro logo as the Ferrari car goes across the screen, and you're squinting and you're thinking about a pack of Marlboros, and then suddenly you've just spent a minute thinking about a pack of Marlboro Reds, and that is exactly what they want you to do. So that was one of the cleverest sales strategies in F1, and as a result of it, it was banned. Well, not exactly banned, but the other F1 teams kind of pressured Ferrari into getting this off their car. And I mean, rightly so, because promoting tobacco isn't, as I said, it's not very ethical. From 2011 to 2018, any PMI brand was not featured in the Ferrari car. However, in that time, especially from 2011 to 2015, PMI still featured in the Ferrari website, and they were still sponsoring Ferrari technically, but they were one of the kind of background investors instead of a foreground sponsor. And as we'll call them a background investor, they brought in 480 million euros to the team in that 4 years that we're kind of looking at. This sponsorship was then kind of renewed in 2018. It was due for renewal anyway. With this sponsorship renewal came a new kind of thing. We'll call it a thing. On the side of the 2018 Ferrari, in the latter half of the 2018 series, a lot of people noticed this new and slightly interesting brand on the side of the car by the name of Mission Winnow. Now, I was 13 at the time and had no idea about any of this Philip Morris stuff, so I just thought it was some ridiculous sales ploy for Ferrari, thinking that their mission was to win now. I mean, it sounds ridiculous talking about it now and looking back, but I mean, it was so questionable that no one really knew what it was. And yet again, this was Philip Morris's intention, because once you're thinking about Mission Winnow, once you're thinking about them, you're going to go to their website, right? Because their website is put on the side of the car. And once you're at their website, you'll see quite a lot of stuff that points to PMI. So before I dive into the full details of Mission Winnow, let's just gloss over the name quickly. So mission, I mean, I don't think I need to explain mission to you, but winnow might be a new word. This is like an English class at this point. So winnowing, in the past, it used to be just removing the chaff from the grain. And well, chaff, if you didn't know, is the unwanted part, and grain is what you make flour out of. And more commonly nowadays, winnowing is just used to describe purifying something or getting rid of an unwanted thing. And in Mission Winnow's case, that unwanted thing is the bad stuff in cigarettes. Or so they say. I mean, Philip Morris is still selling their cancer-filled cigarettes, so I'm not sure their mission is really to fix that, is it? But anyway, I have got extremely off topic, so I am very sorry. According to their shockingly bad website, it is absolutely horrific. It's been designed by a 4-year-old. But according to it, Mission Winnow has a simple goal: drive change by constantly searching for better ways of doing things. Now, I have as little an idea as you do on that one, but my best guess is that it's some kind of healthy alternative to smoking. And pretty much that's what it is. Their social media page is no better, and let me just read you one of their tweets. Mobile phones combined the utility of telephones with the reach of wireless technology. By winnowing wires, we now have mobile phones. Now, I mean, yes, but also not yes. And I should mention, this tweet was probably posted on a PC, so great, nice one. Out of the initial 16 races of the F1 2019 calendar, just 5 of them featured the Mission Winnow branding, and that is because some countries, I mean clearly most countries, have much stricter rules on tobacco sponsorship than others. So, for instance, Australia was like, if this has a connection with Philip Morris, is it really okay? And, I mean, to answer Australia's question, no, it is not okay. With this in mind, that Mission Winnow didn't really appear on many races, you'd expect PMI to pay Ferrari a smaller amount accordingly. However, you would be wrong in thinking that. Mission Winnow bring a total of 129.6 million euros into the team per year. That is a lot of wonga. It's easy to see where the money comes from though, because PMI is obviously a massive cigarette brand, and they are literally swimming in cash. It's just as easy to see where they make their money back, because people see that Mission Winnow branding, they go to the website conveniently placed on the side of the front wing on the Ferrari, and they discover PMI, and they're like, I fancy a fag. Obviously that's not exactly what some people would say, I should mention, just in case, people find this offensive. Some people are not going to do that, but others will, and those other people are where PMI are going to make their money back. I am too young to smoke, so I can't tell you what it's like to really feel that full effect of sponsorship, but for the reason that I'm kind of making it worse, I am going to leave you with a simple message. Don't buy Marlboro cigarettes. That's what they want you to do. Anyway, that is going to do it for today's video. If you did enjoy, then of course, leave a like and all that kind of stuff. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Yo, it's Friday night, we on a mad bender. We in the whip with 2 chicks, throwing up hand gestures. So f your ancestors. Got in a fight with 2 dykes looking like gang members. Went to punch and hit a dick, this bitch is transgender. Why can't we get along and get it on? Oh motherfucker, why you staring at me with a semi on? Oh, you saying that's a gun you tucked up in your leather thong? Make you shoot yourself in the dick like you was cheddar ball.